Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My brother, my sister, this message is intended for you. If you came across these words, it's not by chance. Allah brought you here to hear what He wants to place in your heart. You have gone through an intense month, a month full of doubts, prayers, silences, and maybe even tears. And now that May is coming to an end, a silent question haunts you. What next? Fear nothing. What you feel is normal. Allah prepares you. This is not the end. It is the threshold. It's not a goodbye. It's a passage. The month of May, for many elected officials, was a hidden ordeal. Decisions on hold, prayers that seem to go unanswered, signs that you don't yet understand. Perhaps even distancing, closures, or this feeling of being between two worlds. Neither where you were, nor yet where you should be. But understand this, Allah never leaves His servants halfway. He shapes them, adjusts them, refines them, so that when they take the next step, they are ready to wear what He has reserved for them. Every season has a purpose, and the one you just went through this month of May was a season of counting. Allah has taken away what will not accompany you further. Maybe you think you've lost, but in truth, you were protected. He removed you from certain situations. He paused certain dreams, not to punish you, but to lighten you. For what is coming requires a purer heart, a firmer faith, a spirit more disposed to obedience. Allah has seen you. Every nightly prayer that no one noticed, every tear shed in secret, every effort to stay standing when your soul wanted to collapse. He counted them. None of your efforts went to waste. Even if you haven't seen anything yet, heaven has noted each of your struggles. And know that heaven never notes to forget. You have not been forgotten. You have been hidden under divine protection to be prepared for what is to come. The month of May is not the end. It's an invisible line that your soul has just crossed. What happens after will bear the marks of your submission. But are you ready to see what it truly means to be prepared by Allah? Prepared for what comes next? Not with the hustle and bustle of the world, but with the peace of the one who knows what your heart longs for. So breathe deeply, soothe your soul. Because this is only the beginning. You who feel this inner separation, this progressive isolation, it's not a coincidence. You are one of those whom Allah has chosen for a deeper, more intimate, more demanding work. After a month of May full of subtle trials, Allah begins to sideline you, not to push you aside, but to elevate you. This is not a rejection, but a call. The isolation you experience today is not a void, it is an invitation to descend into the depths of your soul, where the voices of the world no longer penetrate, where only the echoes of Allah's reminder resonate. There is a particular silence that the chosen ones experience, a divine silence. It is not the silence of absence, but that of preparation. Allah does not always speak in spectacular signs or apparent miracles. Sometimes He speaks by taking away certain voices around you. He speaks by taking away from you what occupied your heart. He speaks by emptying your environment to force you to look within yourself. This withdrawal, this detachment. These are the first steps of a spiritual transformation. Look at the prophets. Before Musa, alayhi salam, heard the voice of Allah, he was isolated in the desert. Before Yusuf, alayhi salam, was honored at the top, he was rejected by his brothers, sold, imprisoned. And the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he loved the Hira cave, this total isolation, this place of silence, just before the revelation touched him. You see, this is not a punishment. It is a divine pattern. Isolation always precedes revelation. The test always precedes the elevation. The silence of God is never empty. He prepares a message that only your heart can receive. So if you feel alone,
if you have the impression that no one understands you anymore, that your plans are on hold, that your relationships have cooled off for no reason, don't panic. You are in the workshop of the Most High. He is breaking the chains that you did not see, removing the noises that were confusing your soul. He wants to talk to you. He wants to teach you what only silent hearts can hear. But for that, you have to cooperate. You must stop chasing what Allah is taking away from you. You must stop clinging to what no longer resonates with your mission. He is redesigning your environment to create something purer. You are in spiritual formation, and the world will not necessarily understand what you are going through. But it's not for him to understand. It's up to you to stay aligned. Now ask yourself this question. What if this loneliness that you fear was in reality proof that you are about to receive a closeness from Allah that you have never known?
You can't enter a new season without dying the old way. Many want Allah to transform their lives, but few accept that this transformation begins with separation. Yes, what you lost in May was necessary. It was not a mistake. It wasn't a theft. It was a divine sorting. Allah took from you what you thought was essential to remind you that nothing should take up more space than Him. And as long as you remained attached to these things, He could not lay down His peace, His wisdom, His blessings on you. You may have lost relationships, opportunities, energy, time, but look deeper. Haven't you also gained a lucidity that you didn't have before? Haven't you started to ask yourself deeper questions about your future, your faith, your sincerity? Didn't this emptiness push you to invoke Allah more sincerely, more humbly? This is the beginning of a new season, when your heart begins to demand something other than what the world offers. Allah wants you to be ready, not just physically present, not just in the routine of acts of worship. He wants a heart fully aligned with His decree, a submissive soul, a tamed will. And that requires uprooting. You must be willing to let go of your mental patterns, your old ways of thinking, your dependence on certain people. You must allow Allah to redefine your notion of success, peace, happiness. Do not think that the blessing to come will be like what you have already experienced. Number, she will wear another fragrance. It will touch areas of your soul that you didn't even know existed. But for this, you must be empty of what pollutes your interior. Allah does not pour pure milk into a vessel full of impurities. He first cleans, He scrapes, He sanitizes, even if it hurts. And what you experienced recently was this cleaning. It was not a punishment. It was a purification. So don't cry for what you've lost. Instead, cry about being chosen for this rewrite. You were not excluded. You were selected. You have not been forgotten. You have been set apart to receive what not everyone can bear. Because what comes after May will not be ordinary. What you are about to experience, if you remain faithful, will exceed everything you had planned. But are you ready to never go back? To no longer beg Allah to give you back what He has taken away? Because sometimes what you want to find is precisely what was stopping you from moving forward. You feel that something has changed within you, but you can't yet put it into words. It's not just a passing emotion, nor an effect of your imagination. This is a sign that your soul is realigning itself with what it was created to do. After May, what you will see is not necessarily external at first. It is first of all an internal reversal. Allah is restoring your heart, not by decorating it, but by rebuilding it from His foundations. Have you noticed that your sensitivity has changed? That certain speeches no longer reach you? That certain distractions no longer give you any pleasure? It is Allah who takes you away from that which dilutes your attention to draw you towards that which increases it. Because
What He wants to entrust to you requires a clear outlook, a pure intention, an ability to say no to what you would have accepted in the past. The change you feel within yourself is an echo of the divine call. You can't pretend anymore. You can no longer continue to live on the surface while your heart is called to the depths. And that's where the real responsibility begins. Because the more Allah elevates you, the more He expects a posture of loyalty from you. You were not shaped in the ordeal to return to spiritual laziness. You have not been refined to start doubting His wisdom again. He brought you back to yourself, not so that you would survive, but so that you would shine according to His standards. You can no longer live like before, talk like before, think like before. It would be a betrayal of what you learned through pain. What happens next is a test of your loyalty. Allah will begin to open doors, show you opportunities, maybe even restore some things, but this time, He will observe your behavior. Will you chase what He offers you or stay focused on the giver? Are you going to fall back into dependence on means or stay attached to the source? It is now that your true maturity will be revealed. You see, everyone asks Allah to do something new, but few people are ready to become new. And are you ready to embody this renewal, not just to receive it, but to wear it, to be a living sign around you, without noise, without boasting, without confusion? Because what you will represent after this phase is not a simple change of life, but a testimony that when Allah remakes a heart, He prepares it to carry His light, even in the darkness of the world. So breathe. Don't rush anything. You don't need to understand everything now, but you must remain available. For it is no longer a question of if Allah will act. It is a question of how you will position yourself when He begins to open the heavens above you. What you experienced recently was not a break. It was a gestation. A hidden season where Allah let your soul develop in silence, like a seed underground, invisible to sight but alive in His eyes. And now you get to the stage where the roots are deep enough to support what will grow. You are no longer that unstable person from yesterday. You are becoming someone on whom Allah can place weight, influence, a mission. But understand this: the next step will not come with comfort. It will come with responsibility. After May, Allah doesn't just leave you alone. He tests you differently. He's starting to use you. He will place before you choices, calls, signs, times when you will have to stand up even if no one understands your positioning. You will have to say no to what is seductive but empty, and say yes to what is heavy but blessed. It is easy to accept the blessings of Allah. But are you ready to take on the role that these benefits impose? Because every divine gift comes with a spiritual requirement. Do you want peace? You will have to protect your heart from poisons. Do you want abundance? You will have to control your ego and not forget others. Do you want influence? You will need to purify your intention every day. Nothing comes without vigilance, because everything that comes from Allah is sacred. So don't be surprised if some blessings are still slow to manifest. This is not a refusal. It is a strategic postponement. Allah does not give abundant rain to a still fragile earth. He waits until you are ready to manage, to preserve, to transmit. He doesn't want you to waste what He is about to give you. So maybe right now you feel the restlessness, the waiting, the doubt. But in reality, you are in an adjustment phase. Allah shapes you from the inside so that the outside can follow without bringing you down. Observe your life. Is it becoming simpler but more intense? Less noisy but deeper? Less visible but more focused? If so, that's a sign that you're on the right track. Because the elected officials are not necessarily those we applaud. They are those whom heaven recognizes, even when Earth ignores them. And if you feel like everything around you is slowing down, don't worry. It is often in slowdowns that the foundations solidify. Allah has not forgotten you. It grounds you so that the next season is not a flash in the pan, but a constant light. Get ready to wear something you've never worn before, the reflection of your new spiritual maturity. You didn't go through all of this to return to confusion. What you endured was not an endless loop, but a straight line toward a clear direction. After May, Allah wants you to stop going in circles. He wants you to move forward with intention, with lucidity, with the awareness that your life has a much deeper meaning than you had imagined. And you will discover this meaning not in comfort, but in constancy. Allah has disciplined you, and this discipline may have been painful, but it had a name, proof of His love. When Allah loves someone, He prepares them. He corrects it. He does not let him get lost in his illusions. He hits him gently to awaken him. He closes doors to reorient him. He removes supports to show him that He alone is enough. Haven't you noticed that you've started to see more clearly since you have fewer distractions? Haven't you started to hear louder since the noises stopped? This is not a coincidence. It's training. Allah teaches you constancy in silence. He teaches you faith without the applause. It invites you to a more intimate, more direct relationship, without social masks, without false pretenses. What you are building now with Him is solid. This is what will carry you when everything around you seems to be falling apart. You will no longer be a leaf carried by the wind, but a tree rooted in certainty. But you have to be clear with yourself. You can no longer juggle two worlds. You can no longer pray with a divided heart, seeking Allah while keeping one foot in willful disobedience. What comes after May is a dividing line. Either you choose Allah fully, or you continue to lose yourself in half-commitments. For Allah does not share His light with darkness. You have to decide. And if you're afraid of not being enough, remember that it's not your strength that He expects. This is your sincere yes. This is your real abandonment. It is your faithfulness even when you tremble. Allah does not ask you for perfection, but for authenticity. He wants a heart that says, I am not perfect, but I am yours. I am weak, but I choose you. I fall, but I come back. This is the kind of heart He lifts up. This is the kind of heart He fills. What you experience next doesn't depend on what others think of you. It only depends on your ability to stay connected, sincere, aligned. And when this connection is real, then even in the darkness, you will see clearly. Even in the desert, you will feel the presence. Even while waiting, you will live as if you had already received. Because true blessing isn't what you get. This is what you become. After everything you've been through, you find yourself at a crucial moment where every step counts. It's not a coincidence. It's not a simple phase. This is the turning point where Allah wants you to understand that it is not the outside world that will change your situation, but what you become inside. And then remember that what you are going through is not an end, but a beginning. Everything you lost, everything you sacrificed, everything you gave up, it hasn't disappeared. It's simply transformed. Allah does nothing in vain. What was taken will be replaced by something purer, higher. But for this, you must remain firm in your faith and in your determination. If you have already prepared yourself, if you are ready to grasp what Allah has in store for you, then know that what happens after May is much greater than you think, and what you will accomplish in this new season will be greater than anything you imagined. Because Allah does not prepare you for a simple transition. He prepares you for a complete renewal. The best is yet to come, but you must stay on the path of faith. You may be wondering what will actually happen after May. But the truth is, Sometimes what you tangibly expect will come in unexpected forms. There is a spiritual certainty that lies not in what you see right away, but in what you deeply believe. Allah is elevating you, and it manifests in your heart long before it is visible in your environment. Allah does not only open material doors, He opens interior doors for you. These doors will lead you to a new level of understanding, peace, and faith. Maybe at first you won't see it dramatically, but as you move forward, you will begin to notice subtle changes. Your heart becomes more receptive to divine guidance. Your prayer takes on more meaning, and even in moments of uncertainty, you will feel supported by an invisible force. And when trials continue to arise, when challenges do not immediately cease, remember that this is part of the preparation for a higher level of faith. Allah does not abandon you when difficulty strikes. On the contrary, He brings you closer to Him. He purifies you more so that you are ready to bear even greater, more lasting blessings. It is in constancy, in accepting trials with gratitude, that you will become stronger, closer to Him. At that moment, you will understand that everything you went through was not a loss, but a preparation. The changes in your life, the peace you feel, and the new opportunities you see opening up are all signs that what you endured has paid off. The spiritual harvest of these months or years of difficulty is now within reach, and you see Allah's reward manifest in every aspect of your life. So prepare yourself to see the light even more brightly in your life. This is not the end of the path, but the beginning of a new season of blessings, guidance, and spiritual responsibilities. The path of Allah is never easy, but it is always right and full of wisdom. And every step of the way, He is there, guiding you, helping you, blessing you.